Welcome, everybody. This is such an exciting day. I can't even believe it. When I saw the weather, and I said, it's definitely good things are happening today besides the eclipse, right? But before we start, I'd like to turn it over first to our one of our former board members, Reverend Herb Brooks. He's the pastor of St. John Missionary Church in Joliet, and he's a past Will County board member and a past member of our board, and he's going to do the invocation. Reverend Brooks.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, everyone. What a wonderful day it is to be here on today. It's very exciting, another day in Will County. The exciting things are happening. If you'll be so kind to pray with me. Heavenly Father, we come today with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you, Lord, for all of our Will County elected officials, all our Will County residents that are present here with us on today to make this day an occasion for the Children Advocacy Center of Will County. Lord, your word says in Matthew 19:14, suffer the children that come unto me, such as the kingdom of God, and forbid them not, is the kingdom of heaven. And Lord, that's what the CAC is doing today, providing that safe haven, that blessed place for our children of Will County and all around the state of Illinois to come to be a part of. Now, Lord, we ask you to bless all of the employees, our residents of Will County, all those that touched their hands and made this happen on today. Bless our agenda, the director, and everyone here today. In our Lord's name we pray, amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Brooks. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everybody here, all the esteemed guests and distinguished officials. We have way more than we ever believed would come, so we're really appreciative. I'd like to acknowledge the elected officials that are here today. So if you're an elected official and you aren't on the list, be ready to stand up and say hi. But first, we have Sherry Williams, Will County Board, District 5. Stand up. Welcome, Sherry. Next, can you hold your applause just because we have a lot to go through. Dr. Lisa Caparelli Ruff, Will County Regional Office of Education Superintendent. Thank you, Lisa. Glenn Conklin, Crest Hill Treasurer. Thank you, Glenn. I'm sorry, I can't read the next name. Patrick? Sarah Patrick? I'm sorry. Jennifer Lynch, candidate for the 2nd Sub-Circuit Judge. Jennifer? Thank you, Jennifer. If the county executive can't read it, I feel much better now. Also, and the county executive, Jennifer Bertino. Nate Albert, Crest Hill Alderman, Ward 4. John Noak, a longtime friend of the Child Advocacy Center, Mayor of Romeoville. Thanks for coming out. Thank you. Oh, we have way more. Beth Beatty, the city manager, City of Joliet. Where are you, Beth? Beth, where are you? Way out there. And I have to say, while a lot of people think she's important being the city manager, most of all, she's a St. Mary's College of Notre Dame grad, fellow alum with me. Thank you. Not the same year, I'm much older. We have Ray Solomon, Mayor of Crest Hill, our home Mayor Solomon. Tina Oberlin, Alderperson, Ward 3, Crest Hill. And thank you, this ward, this is her territory. Chief of Police of Joliet, Bill Evans, also on our board of directors. Thank you, Chief. Colette Safford, Plainfield Park District Commissioner, and also running for Circuit Judge. Missy Schumacher, a member of our board and also very famous as the mayor of Shanahan. And if you don't know who she is, she'll always be in purple when she's out in public. Also, one of our staff members who is also an elected official, Lorraine Guerrero, with the adorable, cute dog. She is a Joliet Township High School Board Secretary. Lori Summers, coroner. Where is our coroner? I'm right here. Oh, there you are, Lori. And she just had a new building opening. Keith Ogle, Mayor of Frankfort, another longtime friend of ours. Thank you, Mayor. Michelle Stiff, Joliet Township High School Board, 204. Thank you. And Cassandra Ma from Reclaim 13. She's the founder. Where is, I don't see her. Okay. More. Christine Verche Hall, the clerk of the City of Crest Hill. I saw her over here. I'm not sure where she went. Karen Stuckel, Will County Recorder. Julie Berkowitz, Will County Board. Jackie Trenier, Will County Board. Thank you. Mark Revis, Will County Board, and also CAC Will County Board. Cesar Cardenas, Joliet City Council, District 4. Andrea Lynn Chastain, Will County Circuit Clerk. Will County Board Chairman, Judy Ogala. Will County Auditor, Duffy Blackburn. Councilman, City of Crest Hill, Mark Sapiti, thank you. Claudia, I can never say that name. Azell, thank you. Alderwoman, City of Crest Hill. I know Claudia, I just don't know the last name. Plus, how can you miss that personality, right? Meta Mueller, Will County Board District 10. Annette Parker, Will County Board District 5. And last but not least, Joliet Mayor Terry Darcy. Thank you. And because he's the last to mention, I'm going to have Terry, we're adding him to the program. I'd like to have Mayor Terry Darcy come up for some, just a couple words he wants to say.
I just want to say how proud I am of having watched this organization grow to the level we're at. One of the things I've always said is we need to grow to the level where we don't need them, but we aren't there yet. So my hat's off to everyone involved in this from the very beginning, Jim, and everything that's been done in this community, in this region. And I thank them so very much for the blessing that we now have to continue to help those families that need so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're so glad to have you here. Today we're here to honor people who made this possible. You're going to hear a lot of thank yous, and you're going to hear a lot of we can't believe that this is really real, because we've been waiting a very long time. As you all know, Will County State's Attorney Jim Glasgow is the power behind the Children's Advocacy Center. He's the man who had the vision. He's the man who pushed and really worked tirelessly since 1995 to make this a reality. We're going to hear from him later, but I do want him to stand up so everybody can see Jim. Say hi. In case you didn't see him. But we're here today because many people, led by State's Attorney Glasgow, understood the importance of moving the Will County CAC to a building specifically designed to provide children ages 3 to 17 who have endured severe physical abuse, sexual exploitation, neglect, and exposure to violence. Give them a safe, comfortable, and neutral, non-suggestive place where our trauma-informed intake, forensic interview, victim advocacy, and therapy employees could work with them. Additionally, there was an overwhelming need for offices and program areas that would provide the privacy when you're working with children who've had some very difficult situations. The confidentiality and accessibility was important, as well as necessary technology and the need for security, because you can imagine a lot of the stories that we hear here can cause someone to be a little angry. Due to the high level of stressful and traumatic issues being dealt with every day at the Will County CAC, our employees and our clients needed a building with good air quality, natural light, outdoor spaces to decompress, and to fight vicarious trauma, which is very important. Every day, these staff members have a really tough job. So I'd like to introduce you to our employees, who will stand up as soon as I get the list, so I make sure I don't forget them all. Somewhere I lost the list. Well, I'll wing it. All right, operations staff, Jackie Lundquist, Assistant Director. Where are you? There she is. She's also a forensic interviewer. Esther Borrego, Intake MDT Coordinator. Thank you, Esther. And Christine Koster, the Grants Finance Manager. Christine's over here. And if you've ever heard me talk about how important it is for money, I always say no money, no mission. If we don't have money, we can't do the job we do. So our grants coordinator is very important. Family advocates, Senior Family Advocate, Sherry Johnson. Sherry, thank you. Ashley Patino is a senior advocate, and Tamika Givens. There you are. We also have 2 bilingual forensic interviewers, Cruz Arzwaga, senior forensic interviewer, back there, along with Denise Arroyo next to her, 2 partners. And, hold on, I lost my list. All right, here we go. All right, who did I forget? Did I forget anybody? We're all... Therapist, oh, so important, because the therapist, oh, Lorraine Guerrero is going to kill me. How can I forget Lorraine? We have trauma therapists that are evidence-based trauma therapists led by Lorraine Guerrero Newmeyer with the adorable dog. Dorothy, where are you, Dorothy? Dorothy, thank you very much. Who else we've got? Oh, Gabby, our therapist, and Savannah. Thank you very much, Savannah Regis. Thank you all for being here today to see our staff. They have worked tirelessly in buildings that have not been very conducive for the job they do. And we're so grateful that today they have a place where they can get their job done very well. So thank you. On behalf of the Will County CAC Board and staff, though, I'd like to also say I would like to give my heartfelt appreciation to Will County Executive Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant for her unwavering support. County Executive Bertino-Tarrant's dedication to the well-being of the children is truly commendable. She helped push this project. It was sort of thrown on her plate, and she made sure she shepherded it. And I would like to give County Executive Jennifer Bertino the opportunity to say a few words. Please welcome County Executive.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk very quickly because we're racing the eclipse, and I know some of you want to take a look. I don't think I'm going to win this one, though. So, to start with, I'd like to thank everyone for being here to celebrate Child Advocacy Center and their inspirational mission. This is a watershed moment in the 28-year history of the CAC. The CAC team now has a customized environment tailored specifically for the important work that they do, with opportunities for future expansion. This building is a perfect example of collaboration and vision. I applaud State's Attorney Jim Glasgow for having the vision that has helped build the CAC to where it is today. And thanks to the advocacy of Jim and the dedicated CAC board members, we are able to work with the county board to find funding solutions for this necessary project. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out former Majority Leader Mike Frizzalone, who actually found the actual building and saved us money because we were going to build. So thank you, Mike. Thanks to the advocacy of Jim and the dedicated CAC board, I said that already. I'm happy to say, too, this is another Will County project delivered on time and on budget. And a shout out to our facilities team, Bill, Dave, Ed, Tom, thank you, and your whole crew for all the work that you've done to make today ready and actually open up the building. I congratulate Lisa and her hardworking and committed team on your new facility. I know you'll continue to do amazing work. While we all recognize the sadness and the need for this service, I'm sure we can all be inspired by the commitment of our CAC staff to make the families and children who walk through these doors feel safe and comforted. So again, thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone joining us, and congratulations again to your team.
Jim?
Yes.
Look at that in my name. Look at that, how nice that is. Yeah. Sometimes you're just in the right position at the right time.
This
I know
this is the only building she has that's not being demolished.
Yeah. Oh.
No, but listen. The bargain bid that she got on the courthouse, 1.5 million, everybody said, no way, it's going to happen. Go over there now, it's gone. I mean, it's unbelievable. The judgment that she's made as county executive has been pretty incredible. But this, along with the county board, is the best thing they've ever done, ever. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, County Executive Bertino beat me to thanking her wonderful staff, because we could not do it without the County Executive's office. A special shout out to Samantha Markham, their grants coordinator, who helped us and helped our grants coordinator and myself figure out how to get the money for this. Also, I would like to say, he's not here anymore, but Nick Palmer, I don't think he's here, actually, and maybe Meta, somebody worked with him. Were you the one working with him on the overnight? Or Mimi, maybe, Mimi. And they worked over a holiday weekend many years ago to write the grant applications and letters for the Capitol bill that got us a lot of this funding. Also, Capitol Program Director Dave Tack, and his assistant Tom Dolan, facilities Ed Papish, and his unbelievable team of Corey, Leo, Andy, Rick, and Tony, who have done unimaginable things. We've asked them to hang something, move it here, move it there. Can you pull it from the basement? And they did it with an elevator that's going through a little bit of rework right now. So they've been working very hard. Finance Director Karen Hennessy, Telecommunications Manager Mike Kluga, Assistant Tracy Bruno, ICT Director Jason Donish, along with the crew that works with us at the Child Advocacy Center, the ICT team of Felinda Holmes, Albert Bailey, Robert Velisca, and Braulio, I can never say it, Guzman. Next, I'd like to bring up very important person to the podium, Judy Ogala, Will County Board Member, to say a few words. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you. Before I begin, I'm going to invite somebody to come up with me, because he had been on the county board and served with me for 10 years. And we spoke about this event that we're having today. So Mike Frizzalone, come on up, please. Mike Frizzalone, Mike served many roles while he was on the county board, and to me the most important role was finance. He's great with finance, and so come stand next to me, Mike. Okay, what an exciting day for Will County. I'm honored to have been invited to speak before you today as we celebrate the new Children's Advocacy Center of Will County. As a member of the county board and the county board chairman, I recall many conversations and meetings over the years discussing the need for a better location and building for the CAC. Discussions included remodeling the old building, building a new facility, or moving it to a different county-owned property, but none of these choices seemed right. Fortunately for us, Will County board member Mike Frizzalone learned of a preschool that would soon be up for sale. That led to a small group taking a tour and the determination that this building was just right. This building allows the CAC to design it to fit their needs, with plenty of room to grow for future services. It's a perfect setting in which to serve the children of Will County and their families. It took a little luck, a lot of conversation, and a near total eclipse of the sun to celebrate the new home of the CAC. As we know, children are our future, and protecting and healing them is the important role of that the CAC staff works hard to do every single day. Thank you all for doing that. In closing, I want to thank all of those who got us to this moment today. Our state's attorney, Jim Glasgow, former board member Mike Frizzalone, CAC Executive Director Lisa Lass, and the previous members of the Capital Improvements Committee in understanding the importance and need to find this building and purchase it. Thank you. Mike, would you like to say a couple words?
Just say, when I was appointed to the CAC board 10 years ago, the quest had already started for a new building. And while that quest was going on, we were moving from building to building. And then Jim found the perfect building. But I didn't think the Center Point property was the right place to go. So I fought him and I said, we'll find the right place. And as luck would have it, a chance meeting with real estate agent Bonnie Willis revealed this building to us. And from the first moment we all walked in, we knew this was home. And I just hope that all of the wonderful people that work in this building that have a really tough job to do, that this building makes it a little easier for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Jim?
For the Will County Board. want to say something to?
They don't each get one?
Yeah, they're going to give one, but give it to Judy. You want Frizz alone? Go ahead. Yeah. There you go. Here, go to me.
Yeah, Mike Frizzalone's a guy that always thought outside the box. We were sorry to lose him as a county board member, but the way that he found this building, it reminded me of 1995, where we were set up with the 2 hospitals, and we had matching funds from one of the hospitals, but we couldn't trigger them, and a DCFS worker just happened to stop in unannounced, and we were talking, and I told him what I was trying to do, and he said, well, wait a minute, let me see what I have. Next day, he called with the matching funds. Same thing happened to Mike. He's talking to a realtor about a subject completely different than this, and he segued. There's nothing better than segues. And sure enough, there was, and this, where were you when you did this? In Frankfurt or?
Homer, in Homer.
In Homer, okay, so, you know, realtors a lot of times are just, they're in their own little niche, but the realtor knew of a client here in Crest Hill that had talked about maybe wanting to sell their building.
The client.
Yes, and could you please stand up? This was a wonderful, beautiful school for young children, you know, and was thriving. And Montessori was the philosophy, but she was getting to the point where it was maybe time to get a little smaller, and she's continuing on with her mission. So, but again, I believe in divine interventions, and they just keep happening when you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. You put your head down and good things happen. And again, Mike always used to taunt me with his cars. He had a Corvette convertible, now he's got an Audi convertible, and so I have to live vicariously through him. But Mike, thank you so much. And Judy Ogala, as the chair of the county board, needs to be commended for getting the votes for the funding for this. This wasn't cheap, but it was absolutely necessary. The state provides no funding, so the mantle was switched to our local government, and they came through with spades. Judy, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next, it's very important that the county board has great and powerful committees. I'd like to introduce you to Chair of the Will County Board Capital Improvements Committee, Meta Mueller, who really shepherded the whole project. Welcome, Meta.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I took over the chair position in the Capital Improvements Committee after Herb Brooks left us. And so him and I both sort of did this together, the shepherding it through. I remember when Mike sent us an email saying, I think I found the building. And when he showed it to me, I knew this was it. I knew we could get here. There's an old proverb that says, a society grows great when we plant trees whose shade we will never sit in. So I just want to thank all of you who are part of this. I want to especially thank my fellow county board members, past and present, for joining in on this journey and seeing this vision together, and planting this tree for the future of the folks in this county. The investments that we're making are going to serve this community for many generations to come. So thank you so much for all of your hard work and dedication to the children in Will County. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Meta. And because with the other award, we gave Judy's for the whole board. Jim, do you want to give her? This is just a personal one. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
This is the pocket-sized version.
This will be great in my office.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to keep my program?
Thank you, thank you. Speaking of boards, no board, or a Child Advocacy Center would be complete without a working board, and we have one of the best. I'd like to have them stand up today. We obviously have Jim Glasgow, our chairperson, Sheriff Mike Kelly, who is represented, where are you here? There you go, by Dave Jungles. Welcome. Next, Chief William Evans. Bill, Chief Evans is on our board. Thank you, Chief of Joliet Police Department. Dave Thornton, CPA, who also works for the Will County Treasurer's Office. Dr. Natalie Coleman, who's on the Executive Committee. Where isn't she here? Lieutenant Dan Likens, He's the Assistant Deputy Director of the Illinois State Police. Thank you, Dan. Dr. Rita Gray, Director of Clinical Training for the Will County Health Department. Anthony Allens, who's Executive Committee member who works for Illinois DCFS, and obviously that's a very important position to have on our board. Duffy Blackburn, Will County Auditor, thank you. Michael Mutterer, the interim president and CEO of Silver Cross Hospital. We're thrilled to have Michael here. Ann Drayle, retired former Will County board member, and of course, one of our greatest dreams, because she's been on the board, I want to say the longest, right? Almost from the beginning, so welcome, Ann. Missy Schumacher, Mayor of Shanahan. Scott Slocum, Program Director, Broadcaster, WJOL. Not sure where Scott is, but I'm sure you'll hear all about this event tomorrow morning, WJOL 1340 AM. Mark Rivas, Will County Board Member. Welcome. He works for the Office of the Minority Leader of the Illinois General Assembly. Gwendolyn Stirk, attorney, Stirk family, and attorney and owner of Stirk Family Law Group. Very important to have. And Dennis Wolf, sales director of Hawk Chevrolet in Joliet. We're grateful to have all of them. Next, I'd like to introduce and have welcome us to the city of Crest Hill, the fabulous mayor of Crest Hill, Mayor Ray Solomon. Ray?
Wow, this is an awesome crowd. And on behalf of our elected officials over here, and I see many of the representatives from the city of Crest Hill, from our police department and administration, welcome to the city of Crest Hill. And thank you very much for being here today, because your being here, your support of this organization, and you taking time out of your busy schedules means more to this organization than you will ever realize. So we as a city of Crest Hill are very excited and we're very proud to have the Children's Advocacy Center in the city of Crest Hill. This is going to be a tremendous asset, not only for our city, but for our police department also. Unfortunately, we've had to use the Advocacy Center way too many more times than we should have. But I will tell you, they are a top-notch organization and they help out a lot of young children that are struggling. And I remember when State's Attorney Glasgow called me about 8-9 months ago, and he had this vision of this building and being here. And he asked my opinions and my thoughts. And I told him I was in total support of this Advocacy Center being in the city of Crest Hill, because it would be good for Crest Hill, it would be good for Will County, and it would be good for all the regional communities around us. And I certainly want to say something about Pat Forkin, because she was the one that brought this building. She put this building together, and she had the TLC Learning Center from 2008 for 15 years in the city of Crest Hill. She formed the foundation in a lot of young students at that time. And for 15 years, she was very successful, and then COVID hit, and we all know what happened at COVID, and unfortunately, she just couldn't survive anymore. But how appropriate is it now that that building where young children were taught their colors and their numbers and everything else for all those years by Pat is now going to be taught and helping out those children that are so vulnerable in our society today and taken advantage of and having serious things happen to them. But they're going to have a wonderful organization like the CAC to help them, guide them through to have a good life. So as a city of Crest Hill, like I said, we are so proud to have this organization, the Advocacy Center. We've had a great relationship with the Advocacy Center for many, many years. I'm sure it's only going to get better as we go along, and we wish them nothing but the best. We welcome them into the city of Crest Hill, and God bless them for everything that they do. Thank you.
There's a reason why he keeps getting reelected, and you just heard why. But I gotta tell you, he likes to pull people's chains too, because when I first called him, he goes, "Jim, you're gonna take it off the tax rolls." And then he immediately said, "No, hey, no." He was 100% in support, and I said, "This is gonna be a jewel for Crest Hill. You know, it's gonna help put Crest Hill, not that they're not already on the map, but there's gonna be trainings here, probably statewide trainings where people will be coming to Crest Hill, you know, as the mecca for protecting children from sexual abuse." So thank you so much, Mayor. And you get a little one.
Thanks.
right, we are cognizant of having to hurry because of the eclipse. Next, I'd like to introduce Jeff Brown. He's Assistant State's Attorney at the Will County State's Attorney's Office, but he's here today in his role as President of the Board of Directors for the Children's Advocacy Centers of Illinois, which is the statewide group of CACs. Jeff, would you like to speak?
Thank you, everybody. My other role that Lisa didn't mention is I'm also secondary handler to Kiwi, who is also left out of mentioning who works here. So thank you for building Kiwi a new doghouse. But honestly, I've seen, not all, but I've seen a lot of CACs. There's over 40 throughout the state of Illinois, and I've seen others through other states. You guys are looking at, if not the best, one of the best that I've ever seen, the best in the state of Illinois, and the people of Will County deserve that. Thank you to everybody involved. I'm not going to spend your time thanking everybody. I probably should thank Jim and Lisa, or else I could get in trouble. Thank you, everybody, and this will go a long way to help the children of Will County, and they thank you.
Thank you. Next, we work with law enforcement every single day, and the department that has the most cases that come through just because of the size of the population is Joliet. And we are really grateful to have this very next detective who's going to tell you what the CAC means to her, Detective Christoph Petro of Joliet Police Department.
Well, I'll try to make this quick. So, like Lisa said, I am here to kind of give you a law enforcement perspective. This is something that I've become very passionate about in my career. So here we go. As I stand here in front of this amazing new facility, thinking about all of the healing services and assistance that can continue to be provided to the most vulnerable members of our community, I think back to my first experience with the Child Advocacy Center. I attended my first forensic interview at the former Will County CAC building back in the fall of 2021. I was shadowing a senior detective on a case that he had been assigned. At this time, I did not know much about the amazing work that goes on here or the importance of just what that multidisciplinary team goes on to do. They purposefully collaborate, blending the objectives, needs, and skills of each professional represented, which is ultimately what accelerates the goals of the team by providing a path to healing for each victim and their family. From my first day walking into the CAC till today, when I can stand here in front of you and say, after working close to 200 cases involving numerous child advocacy centers throughout Illinois, the vast majority of those have been here in Will County. And I'm proud to say that the work that goes on here is standalone. From not only each physical member of this team, but to the services offered to the victims and their families. There is no one else I would rather have combating these cases with me than the team here at Will County. From my perspective, the collection of evidence that happens behind these walls is essential to building the strongest cases possible on behalf of our victims. Being able to focus on the police side of each investigation while knowing I can count on the highly trained and experienced forensic interviewers, therapists, advocates, and state's attorneys at this center is what makes this team work. This team strives to achieve a victim-centered healing approach through this undoubtedly tough process that is with each and every case we investigate. While many people commonly think of this collaborative approach as it applies to child sex abuse, I can tell you that it is that and so much more. I have personally worked through multiple homicide cases, aggravated battery cases, and physical abuse cases, along with those sex abuse cases, with this very team. I feel confident in knowing that the services offered to all of those victims and their families from start to finish will undoubtedly help them as they process the impact of the abuses suffered. Without this trust and confidence in the team here, with this very Child Advocacy Center, I know that we as law enforcement would not be able to find that same level of satisfaction knowing that we've provided the best services possible for each case. In conclusion, I have a great level of gratitude to have the opportunity to be part of this team. I am positive that this beautiful new building will undoubtedly help expand the ability of this amazing staff to continue offering a safe place for the most vulnerable members of society. opening doors in the community to continue expanding their ability to reach healing and justice. Thank you.
The work that she does, she's being very humble. I don't know that I could do, as a prosecutor, I had to prosecute cases, but they weren't, they ran the gamut. To continuously do this type of work every day, year after year, it takes a special person. And to be able to compartmentalize this horrible stuff that you learn about and then go about your daily life makes you very special. And I tell that, you know, to Jackie, our interviewer, who's done 3,500 interviews and has 2 beautiful daughters and goes home and she's a normal mom. I'm not built that way. I would be carrying this stuff around, it would eat me alive. So thank you very much for everything that you do.
And you can tell she has a big fan club here from our staff. I want to say when the county purchased this building, they totally gutted the entire first floor for us to build it according to what we need. And I want to thank the team at White and Company, who were the contractors who did that. I know I saw them here somewhere way back at Ratcheta, who designed it, and our friends at White and Company. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone that could help us due to funding yet of the lower level of our Child Advocacy Center. And so we were like, how are we ever going to make the multidisciplinary team rooms where they observe the forensic interviews that Detective Petro talked about in real time to be able to help children. And don't you know, it was like a godsend, or as Jim Glasgow always says, a divine intervention, in that friends from IKEA Distribution Center said, we can help you with that. And I said, no, you don't understand. We need 2 huge rooms full of furniture. We need it to be designed. We're not designers. And we don't have a truck. We don't have a moving company. And they did that. So I want to give a public thank you, and State's Attorney Glasgow would like to give an award to IKEA Distribution Facility Site Manager, Marthea, I'm sorry, Marthea, I forgot your last name all of a sudden, sorry. The Sustainability Director, Tiffany Clark. Come on up. Distribution Center, and you can take it for the designers too. Okay, we got one for them. Here, boom. Do you guys want to say something first? Or?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Cecil.
Thank you. Well, it's a privilege for us to be here. You know, the mission of IKEA is to provide better everyday life for the many people, and especially the children. When we heard about the very important mission that they did here at the center, we partnered with them first, donating 3,000 soft toys that they were needed at that time. But we want to continue to see what else can we do and how else we can partner. And through Tiffany, we find out, first, we remodeled the lobby at the old building, but then when they moved here, we were more anxious to continue supporting. So thank you, Lisa and team, for letting us be part of this amazing opportunity, and more to come. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And if you, when you get into the new building, make sure you check out the building downstairs. Next, we have another fabulous company that is paid for the sign that we are soon going to have out front, because no one knows who we are yet. And we are going to have a large lighted LED electronic message board sign, thanks to the generosity of AD Process Equipment. They are a Gray company. That's G-R-A-Y. Don't get confused with Ken Gray. He's here somewhere. There he is. And they are part of a $1 million budget of donations to children's advocacy centers around the country. And so we are really grateful that they've chosen us. And I'd like to introduce Neil O'Mara, and Jim would like to give him a plaque.
Thank you. We had another divine intervention. There was a beautiful brick sign out in front of the building when we bought it, but I think an impaired driver took it out one night And so we just had to remove the rubble, and we have to thank you so much for what you're doing. We're going to have one of those electric signs where we can do all kinds of public information on a daily basis, and it'll be easily visible. And the mayor granted us a variance so that we could have it extra big. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, sorry. Can't step on political toes. Please say a few words.
Sure. I'll be quick because I can see it getting dark out there. On behalf of Gray, I'd like to thank everybody at the CAC for what they do every day, and just glad we could play a small part in it. So thank you very much.
And last but not least, we can't leave without hearing from State's Attorney Jim Glasgow. I'm not going to cry, but I do want you all to, well, I am crying now, but I do want you to know that there is no man that's more passionate about his job. There's no a man more passionate than Jim Glasgow, who wanted to make sure that this building happened. And so without saying any more, I want to turn it over to the wonderful, thankfully, very passionate and giving State's Attorney Jim Glasgow.
I talked about divine interventions, and my very existence is a divine intervention. My mother was born in Ireland. She immigrated here, and she gave birth to me at St. Vincent's Orphanage in Chicago. And she was a little bit of a fibber, and she was trying to protect my birth father, who was 6'2", from detection. So she said that my father was 5'6", so they gave me the 5'6" father from Joliet, Illinois. Had she told the truth about the height of my father, I would not be standing here. And I stumbled my way through life to finally get on a path where I'm at right now. But two things I'm good at: I like fights. I like when people are picking on people and I can stop them. And I like to think outside the box and find solutions to problems that everybody's saying, what do we do, what do we do? I get a real charge out of that. And thankfully, this job gives me that ability. You know, I was with Canines for Veterans over the weekend at their 5K, and I've been able to help them with funding from the money we seize from criminals, and we help find them a new training center. You know, our veterans are obviously someone that should never want for anything. The only reason I'm able to stand up here and talk is because of them, and we have to have all these private fundraisers to build them houses, get them dogs so that they can avoid suicide from PTSD. The government should be providing that. So hopefully we can get our act together one of these days and get our priorities straight. Obviously, sexually abused children, the top of the list, and yet the state declared in their statute that this center is essential, that our most precious resource in the state of Illinois is our children, but we got no money for you. So it's up to you guys locally, and you can see we've excelled here locally, thank God. And over 700 interviews now a year we're doing, and that's just scratching the surface, because so many of the children that are victims of these crimes don't come forward because out of fear and shame. The fear generated by threats from the abuser, everything from "I will kill you," "I'll kill your mom," whatever, to other, "I'll kill your dog," you'll never, whatever threats. I don't know what their threats are exactly because I've never made them, but whatever pernicious thing they can think to say to a child to scare them to death, they do. And so God knows how many victims are out there that we don't see. So again, without this center, there are so many kids whose lives would be totally destroyed. And by way of example, in 1986, I received a case for prosecution. It was an aggravated criminal sexual assault on an 8-year-old. And I'm looking at the file, and she didn't report it for 3 months. So there's no physical evidence. There's no eyewitnesses other than the victim. And the only corroborating evidence I had was the mother would testify that the offender was there that night. He was also charged with an aggravated criminal sexual abuse of 2 other girls, and my co-counsel on the call tried it and lost it. So when he came into this trial, he was King Kong and he was going to walk. I went to Lockport 7 times and did the pre-trial with that little girl at her kitchen table. She hit the stand and knocked the ball out of the park. The defense attorney tried to trick her on a cross-examination question, and she she sat forward in her chair and said, "That's not what happened. You turned that all around." And a woman on the jury started crying. Well, he was convicted, and this is the only time in my career this has ever happened. He wrote me and the judge and the defense attorney a letter saying, "Thanks for catching me. I got a problem and I'm finally getting treatment." But you roll the clock forward to 1995. I'm in the process of opening the Child Ad Center, and Kelly Sullivan comes up to me and says, "I've got this young girl that was thrown out of a car, and she's got multiple broken bones, and she just wanted to say hi and thank you because you helped her when she was 8. So that 8-year-old girl never got the benefit of this magical center and these amazing employees that we have, these therapists that can change people's lives. So she gravitated to Bruce Papes Jr., and I'm using his name because he has multiple convictions for violence in our county. He threw out of him, that's who she got for a boyfriend. She had no self-esteem. And I felt terrible, but my job was to win the case, and I did that, and there were no other services back then. So that's one of the other driving forces to get this center to where it is today. And Lisa Lass, who worked with me in the 90s on a lot of our innovative programs that we had, we started a domestic violence commission that is now the Family Violence Coordinating Council, but we were ahead of the game, and we had meetings every month, and Lisa coordinated all that. She then took a sabbatical and did one job she didn't like, and then Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And then she came back, and as Jeff Brown said, look at the size of the CAC now compared to when she took over. It has just grown and grown and grown. And thank God that this building came along just at the right time, because we're going to continue to grow. And we're looking into doing senior abuse, which again is another plague on our society. We had one case where two siblings let their mother literally die in her bed while they were there. And it's hard to comprehend that callousness, but we can make a difference if we have more resources. So this building gives us the opportunity to do that, and we look forward to bigger and better things in the future. But this Birth to 5, I just want to finish with this. The Birth to 5, this is a new effort in Illinois, and it's not getting much funding. But when I think about my own life, and I mean, when I say there but for the grace of God go I mean, I got skin in the game. I came out homeless and an orphan, and only because God made my mom tell a lie that I'm here. That's crazy. When I was prosecuting Peterson, we convened a grand jury. We told the grand jury, we're opening an investigation into the disappearance of Stacy Peterson. A 6'4" man stands up and says, I have a conflict. It was Reverend Shorey, the most important witness in my prosecution. God put him on my grand jury. I've never been on a jury my entire life. Pettit, grand, nothing. Not everybody's on a grand jury. The odds, we book everything now, how many point favorite, whatever. Find a bookie and tell me what the odds are. Reverend Shorey in a county of 700,000 people being on the Peterson jury. I'm a week from trial on Peterson, and the judge has excluded all of the statements that Kathy Savio said, told me he's going to kill me and make it look like an accident. The judge found those unreliable. A week before trial, the Illinois Supreme Court delivers an opinion saying I get all the statements. The judge says no. I go to the appellate court. They say no. Supreme Court sends down an order, follow our case. I got the statements. Had I been a younger lawyer, I would have died of a heart attack through all of that, but I didn't. And my point is, and I said it earlier, if you see people being mistreated, do something. There's something you can do, even if it's only telling somebody else who can do something. And I think this community has proven time and time again that we can come together and do great things. And this is the crown jewel right now, I think, of all time. And I thank everybody here, and hopefully those of you that are follically challenged, this eclipse will help you from getting sunburned. Because my skin doctor, he has a field day with me because my mother was born in Ireland. I've got no pigment. He's got a McLaren, he's got a Range Rover, and a Bentley. So
And,
Anyway.
excuse me, but I'm going to interrupt because I want Jim to have a picture of the building that he led us to, and I thank you very much for all you've done, Jim Glasgow.
All right, that's just. That's the politest way she's ever told me to shut up. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you all. Make sure you get a pinwheel to celebrate child abuse prevention, and thank you all for coming. We're going to take pictures in the back, so all elected officials and our esteemed guest, come on out. We're going to take pictures over by the front of the ribbon cutting in the dark. Take it all the way over here.
All right, board members.
So, everybody, come on up. Who's cutting?
Lisa, who's cutting?
Jennifer.
Okay, because we want to do it between the first two church advocacy. Don't run, Jim.
So where do you cut it?
Yeah, in between here.
Oh, come on. I got to yeah, come on.
Come on, Karen, come on.
No, it's not. He's good. Come on.
Get your hands on that.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, anybody else who wants a picture with the ribbon? Well, the next one to do, we can do it again.
Okay, we can do another picture. Anybody else who wants a picture? All the pressure. Oh, yeah, come on. Let's get our path. Okay, Chris Hill. You want to sit here with Chris Hill? Sure. Okay. It's your building, Jennifer. Come on. Come on, Crest Hill. Crest Hill. Crest Hill. Crest Hill. Crest Hill, people. Scott. Scott, come on. They're calling you. Crest Hill. Yeah, whoever Crest Hill. Chief. 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 Ed. Get some more Crest Hill. Crest Hill. Crest Hill Chief.
So have whoever's not. Have whoever's cutting it. Okay. Right between the two.
Okay.
I'll have everyone move to the left.
I'll wait. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Right after staff. Staff, hurry up. And then wait, don't go. I just got to leave. No, wait. We're going to do comments first.
Where's Amanda?
Come on. Right here. Where's the band? Ready? Staff. Boy, Jim, can you believe that the Child Advocacy Center new home is a reality after all these years?
Yes, from 3,000 square feet to 27,000. That's a nice upgrade.
Very nice. Tell us about how you started the Child Advocacy Center.
Well, back in the early 90s, there was obviously a crucial need for it, but there was no funding available. The state passed legislation, told us how to set up the Child Advocacy Board, and if we chose to do a center, here were some of the guidelines, but they weren't providing any funding. And so they subsequently put a referendum paragraph in there, but the counties never felt that was a good way to go. So we've raised fundraisers and grants throughout the process. But when we first started, it was much more economical. We only had a couple of employees, and we got a grant from Silver Cross Hospital and from the Department of Children and Family Services. And then Paul Pollack gave us 3,000 square feet at Silver Cross in the Rabbi Hirschman building. And we ran the center there for 3 years. And then the county came on board, and we got a suite in the Pioneer building. And then we moved to the EMCO building. And where would we go after that?
Well, who knows? We've been all over. I think 6 homes the Child Advocacy Center has had.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And our last landing spot was the best we'd had up to that point. It's just that there were no windows, and a lot of the offices did not have a ceiling, so the privacy issue was there. So this has solved all of the needs, and with the tremendous growth that we've seen, do you have any idea how many people we interviewed that first year?
The first year was less than 50. I want to say it was about 70 maybe, less than that.
Well, we've gone up 10 times.
Right.
And that's probably going to keep increasing.
Well, Jim, I just want to know, everyone knows the Child Advocacy Center is your passion. Tell us why it's your passion.
Well, again, anybody that doesn't have a soft spot in their heart for any child who is abused that has an issue, because your entire life depends upon how you're treated as a child, with the opportunities that you have, and this new effort with Birth to 5. Your brain goes through millions of changes just in the first 5 years of your life, and if you aren't nourished properly and loved properly and given shelter properly, that could destroy the very foundation for the rest of your life. So I'm trying to work with the people that are working on that project. We've got to get government to make sure that there are no children in the state of Illinois going hungry, no children being abused, that will basically alter the rest of their life.
Today, you heard Detective Christoph from the Joliet Police Department talk about how much she enjoys working with the forensic interviewers, the therapists, and the advocates, and everybody here. How does that make you feel, knowing those are all your employees?
Well, you've done a great job in the hiring process, and obviously we've had great applicants. But your staff right now, they're amazing. And with training, their personal passion for what they do, they're not just coming in, in a 40-hour job.
No.
And they've shown it time and time again, coming in after hours in emergency situations. And then the results with the children who have been abused, helping to get past that and go on and live a productive life.
Well, Jim, just from the bottom of my heart as the executive director, I just want to say thank you very much, because you have not only given me the reign to be able to grow the Child Advocacy Center, but you've fought passionately with the county board and with the county executive over the decades to make this a reality.
Yes, and make it clear now, we have a wonderful county board and a wonderful county executive who made this happen.
They made it happen for sure.
Yes, and again, this was a great example of politics not playing a role at all. They all came together for the children.
Well, thank you so much, and so glad you're here today.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks. So, Jim, we're in the lobby of the new Child Advocacy Center, and it's been totally furnished with furniture from IKEA.
Well, as you know, I'm a patron of IKEA, and got 3 of their shelves in my office. But their generosity in coming out here and providing all of this furniture, and one of the cost savings of buying IKEA furniture is you have to provide your own manpower and put these things together. But they did that for us too.
Right, and they know how to assemble their own furniture.
Yeah, it's just, and I don't know about you, but I have 400 screws.
Right.
It's a little.
And then when you get down to the last one, you can't find it.
But this is awesome, and when we go downstairs and see what they did, it's just, you know, from a vacant room to luxury. It's just unbelievable.
And, you know, they, most of this started with their distribution center they have over on Lairway
Yes.
Road. However, they got their Bolingbrook store decorators. They have a whole team of designers who come in, look at a room, and then design it. So the rooms we're going to see today involved all their decorators.
Right, and we're certainly going to use it on our building
Yeah.
when we remodel the next 2 floors.
Right.
And it's just, psychologically, when you come in here, it's so bright and friendly. It couldn't be any better.
All right, let's move on and go see the rest.
Very good.
So, Jim, one of the great things about this new Child Advocacy Center is we have 2 forensic interview rooms, and this is just one of them.
It's awesome, and you know, hopefully we won't be have a run on the store, so to speak. But having that additional room is essential. But this is the neutral, non-suggestive environment that you're looking for to put the child in a good place, and so that they can give a truthful and thorough statement. And obviously, having a trained interviewer is absolutely essential. Knowing how to do the questioning, not ask suggestive questions, which could taint the interview. And you know, we've known that for decades, and it wasn't until 1995 that we finally were able to start doing that here in Will County. And we've gone from 3,000 square feet now to 27,000 square feet. So it's been very good progress.
So when you look at the room, it's got kind of a beach theme because our thought was like you said, it's neutral. Boys, girls, young and old, all have experience with some sort of outdoor activity, and it's not suggestive or sexist, and it's very calming, just like you said.
Well, also your choice of colors for the walls and the carpeting. You have a good feeling when you're in this building. And obviously, every child has a different level of trauma. And I'll never forget the 2 children that came in. They both played with Jackson, who was in our first Pause for Kids program. And the little girl just was too traumatized to give her statement that day, but her brother did. And a week later, she said to her mom, "Could I go back and play with Jackson and tell what happened to me?" And I always use that as an example that if Jackson never did another thing in his entire life, he paid for himself 100-fold with that one statement, so that a predator was able to be prosecuted properly and hopefully never hurt another child.
And as you said, our forensic interviewers are trained to ask the questions the right way. We have 4 of our staff members that are trained, 2 full-time and do it full-time, and they're both bilingual, and then 2 more that do them on the side. One is Jackie Lundquist, who has over 3,000, and then we also have Gabriela Mancera, who's also bilingual. So 3 bilingual forensic interviewers.
Yes, and we have a significant Hispanic population in Joliet, so that's absolutely essential.
And they all have master's degrees, social workers. So if anybody out there is looking to be a forensic interviewer, because a lot of people watch it on TV, they'll see on Law and Order, and they call and want to be a forensic interviewer. And it does take a master's degree and child psychology, child social work.
It also takes a unique talent to do it, to be able to not bring that home with you, to be able to, just leave your work at work, because it's very stressful hearing these terrible stories. And as a prosecutor, obviously the attorneys have to do it also, but not with the intensity that you deal with it here every day and over 700 interviews a year.
So while the child is sitting here being interviewed by the forensic interviewer, the multidisciplinary team is downstairs watching it in real time. So let's go downstairs and see that room.
That'd be great.
So now we're in one of the 2 observation rooms where the multidisciplinary team gets together and watches the interview going on. And here's the pictures, the live view video of one of the interview rooms. Jim, what do you think?
Well, it certainly beats our prior room, which was the table and the walls. This is nice and open and puts people in a good frame of mind to think clearly while they're watching the interviews and be able to interpose whatever questions they think need to be asked. But that's the thing about the communication, where we have the assistant state's attorney, DCFS worker, one of your people is here, the police officer. all watching the interview and knowing certain aspects that need to be covered that maybe the interviewer isn't aware of yet. And then by two-way radio communication, they can communicate that. And I'm always amazed how the interviewer doesn't act like she's listening to something, that she can continue to talk with the child and then decipher what she's being told, and then go into the next area of inquiry so we get a complete interview.
Right. And the room is really decorated beautifully. We'll take a video of the second room as well. But as you can see, it's got this nice calm Zen feeling for the people that are working here. All designed and decorated and furnished, all free of charge as a donation from IKEA.
Yes, and well, I'm going to be talking to IKEA because we're going to be remodeling at our building, and maybe they can give us a hand, if nothing more than just with their eye for interior decorating, because you know, our prison grade carpet just doesn't cut it.
So while the interview is going on, Jim, as you talked about, the interviewer is in two-way communication through this microphone that the prosecutor, law enforcement, or anybody at the table can ask questions.
Yes, absolutely, and you know, again, getting a complete and thorough statement is really important, and to do it in one sitting is usually the best. So, you know, they have the advantage in here of having the police reports and any other documentation to get specifics if necessary from the child. But again, I'm always amazed how the interviewer doesn't even give any tell at all that they're being talked to while they're continuing the interview.
With the earphone into their ear,
Yes.
right. Now, they do tell the child that they are listening to something in case they overhear anything, because we never want to re-traumatize or lie to the child.
It just came to mind. Do you remember when we had the two-way mirror?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I mean, literally the interviewers were sitting just on the other side of where the child was,
Right.
and so you couldn't make any noise at all, or they could hear it.
Right.
You know, and obviously a savvy child seeing the mirror might think there was something up. You know.
Because you could see little kind of shadows.
Yes. Yes. And
Or someone would open a what do you call it, a pop can, and you'd hear that pop.
yeah, how primitive it was when we started.
And now, look, we're using the live feed right into the audio-visual.
Yeah, it's amazing, and certainly our level of effectiveness has gone way up.
And so, Jim, here we are in the second observation room that was designed and furnished by IKEA.
Yes, it's hopefully we won't have to use it very often, but when we do have a number of cases coming in, one after another, this room will be a real godsend.
And besides the table that's up front that we saw in the other room where we were standing by, we chose to stand in the seating area section of this room that's also in the other room, where you can see IKEA has set up zones where while one interview is going on, if it's running late, the detectives and the DCFS personnel and prosecutor can have time to sit. There's opportunities to work, and look, they even gave laptop, what do you call them?
Holders.
Yeah, stands.
Stands.
So
Yeah.
they did a very nice job, didn't they?
Yes, yes. It just has a comfortable feel. I mean, anytime you're at work and visually you have positive stimulation, it's a plus.
Now we have trauma therapist Savannah Regis, who's recently licensed clinical social worker.
Thank you. Hello.
So we're in your office where you actually do trauma therapy. Yes. Tell us about some of the props and some of the tools you use here in your office.
Yeah, so especially when we're working with children, I think it's super, super, super important to keep everything fun and play-based. Kids will tell you a lot just when they're playing on their own. So you can see in this corner here, we have all the books that we use, and these are kind of great ways to deliver some of the heavier topics, make it easier for the kids to kind of grasp what is trauma, how does it affect us, and all those types of things.
Show us one of them.
Yeah, so one of the ones we use really at the beginning is this book, Trauma, teaching kids all about trauma. And what I really like about this book is it goes through each individual kind of trauma. So it goes through witnessing community violence, it goes through natural disasters, of course, abuse and neglect. It goes into big life changes, moving, changing schools, people passing away. And it just kind of normalizes all the different ways that kids can be affected by everyday situations that they face. I also have a lot of dress-up clothes over here, which a lot of the kids like. You know, when they are disclosing some of these things, they want to feel brave, they want to feel, and so even putting on a knight costume and having their sword, or putting on a firefighter costume, kind of helps them embody that, and that bravery and things like that.
So where do you get all these costumes?
So they're actually donated to us by wonderful people. I'm in a, I'm a mom myself, so I'm in a lot of mom groups on Facebook. So I just kind of make posts and let people know, hey, I'm looking for this. I'm a therapist that works with kids, and people are more than happy to donate all the stuff. I also have a big bucket of puppets here that were actually my puppets growing up that my grandma saved for me.
And how do you use puppets?
So a lot of the kids love them. We use them maybe to tell some scary stories. We pick people to represent. So I have some of scarier ones, which are the spiders and the bats and snakes and alligators and things like that. So a lot of the kids like them. Also, kids just kind of enjoy talking with them. I think maybe it allows them to almost separate themselves a little bit from the content. And so they feel a little bit easier kind of talking through a puppet instead of just looking at me and talking.
So how does doing therapy in this new building, how has it been more beneficial, or how has it impacted your therapy?
Night and day, honestly. So previously, we grew out the space pretty quickly. And so having to bounce kids around from room to room, have to kind of stack our things so all of our therapists can share the space that we have.
Back in the old building.
Back in the old building. Up. Now we all have our own individual office as well as multiple therapy rooms, so we don't have to work around each other. Kids can have a space that feels familiar to them, feels comfortable to them. There's light, there's all these things. We have space for all of our toys. And I know even the parents too, when they come in, they feel that they have a space where we can speak privately and things like that. So it's just been a huge improvement for us.
It's so nice having the natural light and to be able to see when it's raining, snowing, dark light.
Exactly. No, yeah, it's been so amazing. We love the new building. Good things to come for sure.
Well, thanks, Savannah. And if people want more information on the trauma therapy, they can go to the website?
Yep. Go to our website, and there's a trauma thing, and then you're always supporting us on Facebook too, so on our socials as well.
All right. Thanks.
Let's go, girl.
Okay, come on, Kiwi. All right, let's go.
All right.
Let's go. Come on, Kiwi.
And Kiwi's a real celebrity. 8 years ago, we got her from Duo Dogs in St. Louis, Missouri. And she's the first dog in the history of Will County to be qualified to sit on the witness stand with a witness under the new law. So she's got a temperament that is second to none. She can sit for hours and not move. And, for a canine, that's quite an accomplishment.
Now, the hidden gem we're in now, and it's outdoors, Jim. What do you think?
Well, I can see you sneaking out here on the monkey bars here, and but
well, we do have security cameras. That would be fun.
Well, you went from your Ho Chi Minh trail back parking lot at your old building to this beautiful 4 separate areas where the children can play, the dogs can run, and the employees can decompress.
Right.
So.
Now, it does need some renovation. Some of the tile and the AstroTurf is worn. So we have a company coming out next week, AD Process Equipment out of Naperville, that is a Gray company. And overall, nationally, the Gray company is doing $1 million donations to CACs in their areas. Wow. And so they're going to be out here next week, all their employees, to help pull up the old.
That's a great idea. And then obviously they've got new technologies now for this rubberized surface. So, and this is artificial grass too, right?
Right. So we're looking for anybody out there that knows anything about child playgrounds. We can, or can help us with a donation. It would be great to be able to find someone to give us a really good deal on putting the foam in.
Excellent.